Anyways, we are getting round number 3 started. What are we going to be looking at here, Umbra?
Let's see here. Well, currently we saw last respects. They performed pretty well against Pandemonium. Unfortunately, they were not able to pull the win out. Whereas Super Whimsical Insane Group, they actually had a bye last time, so this is their first set of the tournament, if I remember correctly. So I cannot wait to see what these teams have cooked up. I see SWCast over here. Maybe we have the actual mascot of the academy fighting on one team. Let's see. Thanks for the support for the SBA teams. Go Last Respects. I'm seeing some stuff from you guys. See something from Snapcraft27 all commentators. How was the Shadow Guy on Indivisible doing? I thought they were doing great with their coolers and everything. Any opinion on them? Zip?
You literally just took my words. Wait, I don't know how. I forgot how to do that saying, but I think you get
words out of my mouth.
You took the words right out of my mouth. There we go. Sorry. It's been a really long. Yeah. It's been a long night. I'll say this here, folks. I might have had a very interesting nightmare. I'll say that. But anyways, moving on from that, let's not talk about my nightmares. Let's not get into it. But yeah, as you just said, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. The Shadow Guy was doing absolutely was doing a really great job out there with the providing of coolers and everything. But let's put round number 2 aside and see what we got from both of these teams here. We've already talked a little bit about Last Respects during game number 1, running they were running some very colorful comps here. We saw the Dapple Doolies coming from Last Respects. We also saw the Dread being picked up from Fly earlier too. Yeah, so other than that though, like pretty much like the other 3 players, they pretty much just run your standard typical common weapons that we tend to see in competitive. But I also am noticing that Saturn not only runs Decavitator, but also runs Carbon Roller, and it's not and from what I could tell, I don't see the Burst Bomb Zuka kit in their map pool.
No, just looks like they're going to run that new Super Chumps Fizzy Bomb kit as well as the normal Zipcaster Auto Bomb kit. Really interesting picks from them. I'm hoping to see something interesting. Maybe Last Respects is going to take some tips from the last team that we just saw with the double cooler comp. On Indivisible, maybe they'll run a double cooler as well. I'm seeing a Heavy Edit and a Dapple Doolies. That could be really interesting for them, as well as a Mint Decavitator. I am very curious of how this game is going to go. With Super Whimsical Insane Group, we're going to see V Magnum. They're going to be running what looks like either a Mini Splatling or a Dread Ringer.
Sorry. I am sorry that I literally just said Mini. I guess to give you a little bit of some background, I was a former Mini player, so just seeing the Mini being picked up, it always brings me the serotonin in my body. So I'm very curious to see if we get to see the Mini in action. But anyways, continue, Umbra. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. The minute I just saw Mini, I was bubbling with excitement there.
You know what? I just realized Super Whimsical Insane Group. Look, Big SWIG is calling. It's SWIG. That's the team acronym. It's SWIG. I just realized. Ooh. Wow.
Oh, okay, so we have... that is very clever. That is absolutely
very clever. Too. Let's see. We have Cass. Maybe looks like they're going to be playing a backline or a charger. It's going to look like they're going to be the anchor of their team. That guy plays a lot of rollers and brushes. I'm seeing 2 big swigs with triple splashdowns on this team. Maybe we could see a double big swig team in a zones game. Kita looks like they're running mainly mid lines. I'm seeing a Rapid Deco, which we always love to see, a Decavitator, and both Lunas, as well as a Range Blaster. With Rio being the Splatana Stamper mid-line player of the team. Looks like they're going to play every type of Splatana, as well as the Nautilus. So it's going to be a really interesting match, folks, and they might actually be running multiple splashdowns in one comp.
You know what? Now that you brought it up, you're absolutely right. I am noticing a lot of triple splashdown weapons from I'm just gonna call you know what? I'm gonna call this team SWIG for short, just cause now that you already mentioned now that you've mentioned it, I'm gonna pretty much just call them the SWIG team. But
That's what I'm gonna call them too.
huh?
Oh, I said I'm gonna call them that too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna call them Twig. But anyways, yeah. So honestly, I'm curious to see like if we're gonna be seeing like a quad splashdown coming from Swig here. We'll find out soon enough here, folks. But looks like we are going to start off in tower control in Inkblot Art Academy, the most iconic Splatoon map mode throughout the series.
Yeah, Tower Control Inkblot has always been a great, it's always been a great map mode rotation, and I always hop on the game when I see it, personally. It's an amazing map rotation, probably one of the best Tower Control maps right now, and I think it's gonna be great, and you know what? I'm seeing, Inkblot Tower, and I'm also seeing Hagglefish Market, Splat Zones, both great maps for triple splashdown, wink wink, so maybe if we get a triple splashdown, like a triple splashdown, if I might say so, it's going to be very hard for Last Respects to get a good hold on the tower.
For sure. But anyways, folks, we are getting game number 1 starting here, and as from what I've noticed, it looks like Last Respects are running the same comp that we saw earlier from round 1, and from what I see here, it looks like a super whimsical insane group, or the Swig team, is running both the Luna Neo and the Carbon Roller Deco.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's really interesting to see that they picked one cooler. It looks like both teams have a cooler on. They actually have a pencil out, which is a really interesting pick for Inkblot. They have a Trizuka, and they're running the Burst Bomb Carbon. Can they get a pick on that Dread? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they can. They might be able to get that Dread into a corner and kill it. Oh, but the Luna trades with the Dread. That Carbon does have a Trizuka ready, so they could very well get a good pick on someone.
Yeah, I actually do want to mention something about the Carbon Roller Deco being picked up. While this is a really great map mode for rollers in general, um, honestly, I think this will definitely be rough for Carbon Roller once they start using Zuka, because um, from what I remember, according to Kiver, there is an area there. The main mid area is called the no Zuka zone area, meaning that
It is
it is
actually,
going.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a very rough, which means that it's definitely going to be a really rough time for the Zuka to get picks in that specific area. And I think, honestly, Inkblot Art Academy is not really a great map for Zukas in general. But anyways, we're getting a bit off track here, and I'm noticing that Last Respects, they already already close to getting to the final checkpoint, and they are. My God, I definitely was not paying attention with what we just witnessed here, folks. But Last Respects able to easily take game number 1 in their favor.
Yeah, you know what? That was really dominating for them, and I'm gonna hope that the match is gonna play better for them. Currently, I think it can go either way with these games, to be honest. Everyone seems to be a pretty equal skill level. It was a crazy knockout. I'm seeing a lot of people rooting for Swig team, which, can't lie, me and Sib are probably rooting for them as well. But Last Respects, you gotta admit, they do have the skills.
I mean, like, I don't want to say who I'm rooting for, because I try to stay neutral whenever I get to commentate. I'm just here, getting to provide I'm just here getting to provide the strengths and weaknesses for both of these teams while just seeing what is happening here. So I am just gonna be neutral for now here, folks. You will never know who I'm rooting for. I like to be neutral whenever I whenever I commentate games like this, because I don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be that type of person.
Oh yeah, I'm really hoping that Swig is going to pull out some interesting and unique comps, because I think so far from the Stronghold showcase that we've really seen a lot of unique comps. I mean, Personally, I'm remembering the double cooler comp and the double stamp comp we just saw ran, and we might actually see a big swig ran in competitive, which is surprising to say the least. We don't really see those anymore.
Yeah. Honestly though, like it makes sense though, especially because like Big Swig has been being being uh being just being hit so hard with all of its really with its really unfortunate kits. Even though like even though the newer one is like a lot better than the other kits, it's still like um it's still not enough for it to become like a really good roller weapon. It has a good sub. It's just not a good. It just has a really bad special in my opinion. Like honestly, the special is not bad. Triple splashdown is obviously great and everything, but I don't know. They could have given it a much better special for the new Big Swig, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this next one, Splat Zones. It's really going to favor any team that gets heavier paint. And Hagglefish Zones is always a good one to flip. We're swapping players? Okay, so currently it looks like we're subbing in some players for some teams. So we will be taking some extra time. I'm really hoping we get to Game 3. Scorchgold Clams is a really unique clams map to play on. Any thoughts on that, Sib?
Um, definitely a preferable a Clamblitz map for in general. I feel like because there's definitely a lot of routes there's definitely like more options that you can do when starting a push, but also like again like the one thing I really like about just Clamblitz in general is mainly just special coordination. Like special coordination is always like is just a vital key for able to get really good pushes and everything. If we're able to get a really good lead when putting clams in the basket and everything. But honestly though, like I just love I love that Scorch has the option for you to flank very easily, especially on bridge. Like even though there are some weapons that tend to struggle when pushing up on bridge, mainly like dualies and other type of weapons that have a lot of mobility and can easily be able to flank and give the team the element of surprise. Like trust, like as someone who has done that before a lot with either V dualies or dualie sculptures in the past, it is very very good. Heck, even mini splatling is absolutely amazing for flanking on bridge. But yeah, like there's just a lot of cool things that you could do like when starting a flank that I love when taking the bridge flank. Like you can just easily give them the element of surprise with weapons that you don't typically expect.
Yeah, both teams seem to have really diverse weapon pools, so we could really see anything, and this could go any way, or all the teams. It looks like we're loading into the Hagglefish Zones match. We're seeing the same comp, looks like, from Last Respects. Meanwhile, with Swig running a Crab Tank Stamper. Interesting, along with that Carbon Roller and that Dread again. Okay, let's see how it goes. Both teams are going to have pretty equal paint, but the question is that Crab Tank and that Reef Slider, when they clash, who's going to win that fight?
Double crab tank is always just a tough thing to deal with a lot. And I know that because many teams that I used to work with a team that had double crab in their comp, and every time whenever we fight against another team and we beat them, they always say that they are annoyed when fighting double crab. So I think this new change for the Squeak team might really work out for them.
Yeah, it looks like that pencil just got a cooler out and they're building for a new one. I am wondering what the Dapples is going to do. Maybe go for a flank? No. Are they going to slide her in? Maybe try and get a pick on the pencil or the Stamper. They're going to use the slider? Oh, but they can't get a pick. But they still live? Looks like everyone on Swig team, they're just going to pop a crab, try and have a 1v1. Can that Carbon? The Carbon gets a huge pick on the Dread, but the Stamper's down.
Ooh,
They pop a
huge.
cooler for the pencil team. Wow. And they get a crab out. This is super impressive, and he gets a huge pick on the heavy edit. This Carbon is going crazy right now, and they nearly have Zukas ready. This could very well lock them out.
Yeah, especially since this team, Super Whimsical Insane Group is running an absolutely oppressive midline combo. Now that I'm looking at it now, because I feel like with Carbon, I feel like Carbon, while it is like an in-your-face type of weapon, I feel like with its vertical flicks, like you can, with its vertical flicks, it can easily like chip damage a couple of the opponents, allowing the other team to easily finish the killing spree for them. So, honestly, like I absolutely loved what we saw, but unfortunately though, that isn't enough as Last Respects was able to like immediately go in. We saw the crab coming out from the SWIG team, and unfortunately it has gone taken out immediately by, I believe it was the Dread. I don't remember, but anyways,
Surrounded by the Horn Shred Crab. Wow.
yes. Okay.
You know what? This is really close right now for a zones match. But the question is Last Respects going to hold it for the entire time? Because Swig still has a chance here. The cooler comes out. It's 2-1. Oh, but they can't cap it. That
Oh.
was really close, you know? Whimsical had some insane holds there, but unfortunately, that Dapple Doolies was just able to get in and get some picks, and they weren't able to take it out in time.
Yeah, yeah, like from what we saw earlier, like Swig really had that advantage there, but I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I think because of the I think they might have not been able to try to get in order to result in a lockout heavy situation. Um and or it might have been that Last Respects might have been using their specials, might have gotten their specials ready and used them in order to push them back, which worked out really well for them. So, but honestly though, like really, just really great stuff from both these teams. Honestly, like the first game was an immediate knockout. Um, I think like we saw a lot of really great stuff coming from both of these teams in Hagglefish zones.
I agree. Yeah, you know what? I thought that Hagglefish match could have went either way. They were both playing great.